Hey, did you know that over 70% of digital nomads struggle with budgeting effectively while traveling? As you may know, budgeting is a difficult situation for people to save money. And while we're traveling, between fluctuating incomes as digital nomads and unexpected expenses, and just having the temptation to spend on new experiences in a new environment, it's easy to lose track of your finances. But here's the thing, without a solid budget, your dream lifestyle can quickly turn into a financial nightmare. In this video, I'm going to break down why budgeting is essential for digital nomads and how you can create a system that actually works. So let's go ahead and dive in. We'll jump right into these situations that'll help you become a better digital nomad. And if this is something that's part of your lifestyle, let's go ahead and look at it. So if you're not familiar with the channel, this is Atypical Vagabond. My name's Carter. So what makes budgeting so difficult for digital nomads? Here are some of the biggest challenges most of us face. The first one is a fluctuating income. 1 month, we may land a big client for a high-paying project, and on the next one, crickets. Unlike a traditional job, remote work income isn't always stable, making it tough to plan ahead. Number 2 is unexpected expenses. Flights get delayed, laptops break, visa renewals cost more than we are expecting. These surprise costs can easily throw off your budget if you're not quite prepared. Third is cost variability. Every country has a different cost of living. A cheap meal in Thailand might be the price of a coffee in Paris. If you're not tracking spending, costs can spiral down quickly. Fourth is lifestyle temptations. Let's get real. When you're in a new country, you want to experience everything. The food, the tours, the nightlife. But impulse spending can quickly add up. So what are some practical budgeting tips? All right, let's talk solutions here. How do you create a budget that actually works when your income and expenses are constantly changing? Here are 3 must-steps to follow. First, you have to track every single spend. You can't cut out these small things here, like a small coffee, a water. The reason is you can't improve what you don't measure. So it's important to use apps like Nomad Wallet, Trial Wallet, or you need a budget to track all your purchases. Even small expenses add up over time. And second, you need to set a base budget for your essential cost. You need to figure out what is the bare minimum that you are going to need for food, rent, transportation, and work expenses. This is your financial safety net, and everything else can be flexible. All right, 3, you got to plan for the unexpected. You always need to have at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved. This helps keep things stress-free. If there's situations that pop up where work slows down or there's unexpected costs that pop up, you have this budgeted in to help get you through these harder times. So previously I had kind of discussed my budget for 2025. If you haven't seen it, you can go ahead and see it up here. And so I figured I would just kind of jump into what my actual expenses were for January. And, I kind of talked about housing and budgeting. Like if you're wanting to live in Portugal, to have a T2 apartment, that you're going to be spending about 900 euros. For me, I've purchased this place so I can have the ability to use this as a home base and travel about it throughout Europe. So the only thing that really is an expense for keeping this up is a condo fee, and it was 56 euros. So like it's something that's already been paid for, and I'm expecting this expense in the next couple months to go up, maybe €4, maybe. That's not, it could be exactly the same. For each month, I've been budgeting €225, and the reality is I've spent 143 or 145 euros and some change this month, and this also for water. I have spent 33.44 for water, and for the Vodafone it was 73.45, and for a total budget of 252 euros and 20 cents. So I was slightly over budget, but it's pretty much in range. Like next month, it'll probably go down a little bit as the electricity and gas prices will go down. Anyway, so on to groceries. I budget 400 euros for going to the local market, getting fresh produce, going to the big box stores. So the big expense this past month was going to Auchan, and I spent 265 euros. That also included like a heating appliance and some other appliances. So, wanted a little bit more comfort here with the heating pad. And the food expenses here are also going for two people, so it's not just one person. And also ended up going to Rocheo. It's a kind of like a Costco type store, maybe not nearly as nice, but has a lot of big items that you can buy in bulk. I like to buy coffee there and get it for significantly cheaper, and I spent a total of 65 euros this week. And the thing is, like with Auchan and Rocheo, it kind of fluctuates between the two, which one I spend more. So like next month I might spend the 250 euros on Rocheo, and then at Auchan I might only spend like $50. And then for the past month, I go over to Aldi's a couple times a week and pick up some vegetables that I didn't get at the Mercado, or just some odds and ends like yogurt. Yogurt's a big thing that I get there. And I spent 40 euros at Aldi's. And then at the Mercado, I spent 30 euros. So I've gone through groceries throughout the month and spend right at 400 euros. So I kind of nailed that number out of the park as a budget this month. The thing is, might spend more, might spend less next month, but 400 euros is pretty good estimate for two people. So if you're just having one person living here in Coimbra, you can probably spend about 200 euros on food at home. And that's the thing. I don't eat meat at home, so this is not including meat. So if you're a big meat eater that you eat, have to have steaks or have to have pork or such, then you're probably going to spend a little bit more. Though I do eat meat and I eat it out, so to kind of facilitate that, I have in my budget of dining out to have 320 euros. And one of the places that I go that's just for a cheap meal, kind of like hits that quick get something to eat, is going over to a place called Mr. Pizza. It's just a fast food pizza, and I spent a little less than 60 euros. So I just went ahead and moved it up to 60 for my reference. And that was for 4 pizzas. I go there about once a week, get a huge pizza, and then there's leftovers. There's a cafe that I meet up with people once a week and spend this past month about 10 euros on
snacks, cafe, and then I went to a local brewery, and my wife and I had food. I had a Coke, she had some beers, and we spent 55 euros. We've also gone to another Italian diner. It's called Osteria 44, and this was for birthday get together. So we spent a little bit more money, and it was for four of us, ended up spending a total of 80 euros. And then we went out for like drinks and snacks and things with the other people, and because there's birthdays, just mingling with other people and having interactions. So approximately how much I spent on the high end was 260 for eating out and such. And that kind of is to help go into my overall budget, where I'm probably not accounting for later on. So transportation, the thing is this month I really didn't do a whole lot of exploring. I kind of stayed home. I did a lot of reflecting on where I'm wanting to take the channel and looking at how I wanted to strategize things for the future. So didn't spend really anything for transportation, but this I put in here in my budget 100 euros. So yeah, so having that flexibility gives me a little bit of room for the budget of the month, and that any excess money can be put into a rainy day fund or used later in the year. However, I did use or have a toll from the previous month that came through, and that was only 7 euros. Next month, I can expect to fill up my car, and it's probably going to be around 80 euros. For future budgets, it kind of gives me an idea that, okay, I'm going to have to spend money on gas next month, so I need to tighten the budget in other areas. So right now, since I really didn't do a whole lot of driving, I probably spent about 10 to 15 euros in gas. So that's something to kind of consider that I could add in. However, to take into account of expenses, it's kind of like a subscription type of a thing, is that I do have car insurance. So my car insurance is a little less than 25 euros. So I'm just going to round it up to 25 euros. So through the month, I spent around 32 euros in expenses for vehicle, and adding in 10 to 20 euros for gas, then it's looking at about 42 euros for the month. So that part is under budget. So, and since I didn't do much traveling and having experiences, I had this budgeted out as 200 euros. And since I didn't do any traveling, didn't really have any expenses. However, could say that like some of these expenses of like hanging out with friends, having little birthday get-togethers and exploring, I put that in with the expenses of dining out earlier, and that's something that could have easily been put here in travel and experiences. I'm accounting for every single thing, and since it was accounted for above, it's not going to be accounted here. So for co-working, I had budgeted at 150 euros. This is mostly for when I'm traveling outside of Coimbra. So since I didn't leave Coimbra, I didn't do a whole lot of co-working. And as I said, I've been doing more reflecting on where I wanted to take the channel this month. I did occasionally have a coffee out with friends to discuss our projects, but that's kind of something that, again, went into the budget above for dining out. For health insurance, had it budgeted for 3,500 for two people for the whole year. So nothing's really changed about the budget there. It's going to be a fixed thing. If I do traveling outside of Portugal, it's something that I might have to budget in this miscellaneous, because it shouldn't be a whole lot of money. It's like maybe 10 to 20 euros for travel insurance to add in there. But for this month, I had paid out 290 euros for the month, and that bill is paid, so it's not anything that really needs to be considered. So the last part of my budget is the miscellaneous that I had budgeted for 100 euros. The only thing that I spent for like what I would say miscellaneous, I spent 10 euros playing football each week. For the total each week, it was only like 2.30 euros. So playing for 4 weeks, I'm just rounding it up to 10 euros total. So for the month of January, the total that we spent was 1,305 euros versus what I had budgeted in as 1,745. I am under budget 300 euros. So I was able to keep things under budget, but there wasn't a whole lot of experiences that I was doing outside of what I have. So important to understand that, like, while I'm not having these experiences, what is my work-life balance going to be about? So I was working a little bit more than the experiences that I was able to have out, though I was still able to go out and have fun with friends, trying to balance things out. And it's the winter time, so it's not a whole lot of stuff going on. Whereas I know that when things start warming up, there's going to be more things to do. There's going to be more things to explore. People are going to want to do more things. So it's trying to find out what is enough and how much money is enough to live a lifestyle that I want to live. All right, so you might be wondering, what is the most effective strategy? Now, here's the real game changer. It's something that's simple, it's flexible, and it works no matter where you are. And here's how it breaks down. 50% you need to budget for essentials. This includes rent, food, transportation, work expense. 30% you want to have towards the lifestyle, eating out, experiences, subscriptions, fun. 20% you want to have towards savings and investment, an emergency fund, long-term savings, investments. If you're making inconsistent income, adjusting these percentages based on what you earn in high earning months increases your savings. In lower months, cut back on your lifestyle expenses. So to recap, budgeting as a digital nomad, it's about freedom, the freedom to travel without stress. Enjoy your new experiences and know that your finances are in control. Track your spending, build a safety net, and follow a flexible budgeting system like the 50-30-20 rule. Your future self will thank you. Now, I want to hear from you. What's your best budgeting tip as a digital nomad? Drop it in the comment section below. All right, if you enjoyed this video and are interested in traveling and you've enjoyed having the money to be able to do these adventures, and I'm able to save a little bit of money and go out on other adventures, click the subscribe button and hit the like button if you haven't already, and we can watch this next video right here. And until then, on the next one. Ate mia.